Welcome back, Alpha Strikers, to our second installment of our Elseworlds Uncommon Reviews. I guess it'll be the first installment of Uncommons, but the second installment of the reviews itself. Don't worry, it's only going to be one video. Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and get right into this and get these Uncommons information out for you. So go ahead and start us off, Eric.
Strap in, guys. It's going to be awesome. All right. Number 14, Batman. Batman family, Gotham City detective, and martial artists. All well-known keywords. The man himself of the Bat People, usually around. I can't say words. Real name, Dick Grayson. So yes, we finally have him, a Dick Grayson Batman. I've never actually owned a Dick Grayson Batman. I've always wanted one. Now I have one. Yay.
Cool part is you can call him in with the Batman ID card or the Nightwing ID card.
Correct. Options. So this guy's pretty great. 50 points. Not shabby at all. I was a little underwhelmed at first when I first saw that dial spoiled, but then I got into it. I'm like, alright. So he has a trait called There Must Always Be a Batman. When Batman would be KO'd, you may instead KO another friendly character of a point value of 25 points or more, and then turn Batman to click number 1. So if you were playing a bunch of generics,
like gunfighters
or whatever, of that point value, you can say, you know what? I don't need this man, this generic figure anymore, for whatever reason. WizKid's almost dead. We'll just go ahead and get rid of him on your team for whatever
25
reason.
points.
Yeah,
Ironheart is on her click 6. Next time she takes damage, she's going down anyway.
Yep.
Sure, we'll just get rid of her.
And I'll get myself a full 50-point Batman who has these awesome abilities. He can ignore hindering elevated, so he's got the grapple gun. I always love Batman who have that. And his dial is pretty great. So he has Batman Ally, of course. Stealth is kind of his thing. And he has Sidestep, 11 attack, 17 toughness with Outwit. I like 50-point Outwit. And guys, new Outwit. Going forward, this will be huge. Dial's consistent the whole way through. 10, 11s the whole time. With a flurry at the end with reflexes. And then just 2 damage. He's, like I said, he's Batman. He's not going to, kill anybody. But he's going to wound, incapacitate, drop them down to their knees, so the rest of your team come in and finish off the work. Great dial for 50 points. Anyone who wants to play a Batman for cheap, new player or veteran can try him out. He's pretty cool. No meta teams, but you never know. Outwit will be a thing.
Oh yeah. Up next, Superman, number 15, Kryptonian Metropolis reporter, real name Cal, and the letter L.
Interesting.
I wonder if that's a typo.
We'll have to find out later.
Trait, I plead guilty, Your Honor. Whenever Superman deals damage from an attack, you may choose to deal an amount of damage from 1 to his damage value instead of normal damage. If Superman KOs an opposing character after action resolve, deal him 1 unavoidable damage. So I was looking at this going, why on earth would I want to do that? Well, there's a lot of characters now that when they KO something, they have a special effect that happens. So I can run up and I can thump somebody for 3, and if I know 3 is going to take you to your last click, I can do that and then have my other character come and finish them off.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, Peter the Hunter, Zod Superman.
Right.
I mean, just to name a couple, but if you've got a special effect that they get something more when they KO somebody, you could use the Superman to specifically get them down to whatever last click you need them to be on, and then hit them and finish them off. Oh man, Amadeus Cho-Hulk. I'm going to knock you to your last click, and then he's going to come up and shove an object down your throat and come back to top dial because you were on last click.
Wow. Yeah, just burn all those KOs and get all that health back.
Exactly. He's got a really powerful dial. 12 movement, charge, 11 attack, impervious, drops into invulnerable, loses 1 speed, the normal reduction of attack values. Never drops below a 10. The latter half of his dial, he has sidestep and toughness, but printed 3, the whole dial, save first click for 4. Indom flight, 6 range for 70 points. I mean,
unreal.
Wow. You want to make sure you have somebody else on your team so he's not taking those kills.
But with 70 points, guys, you have all the room in the world to bring up follow-up attackers all day long.
And Superman Ally is going to be busting that stealth.
Does have 6 range, yep. All right, next up we have Wonder Woman, number 16. Amazon, Justice League, Warrior. Has a trait called Bracelets. Wonder Woman can use super senses, but only when targeted by a range attack. So that will be good with new rules going forward. She'll almost always have a rollout.
Yeah.
That's super great for her, very thematic. She has an attack power on the first wow, 3 clicks of her dial called Created Equal. Wonder Woman can use Incapacitate and Super Strength, so she'll have that knockback, heavy objects, and the ability to tie you down if she's based up with you. And she does have 4 range, so options. She also has damage power on the first 4 clicks of her dial. Man, that dial is cool. I've never seen this one before. I'm excited for this one. I pray Athena guides us in doing what is right for humanity.
Oh, man.
That was great.
Humanity. Yeah, that thing.
Wonder Woman can use leadership. When she does, increase the result by 1 for each adjacent friendly character with the Amazon keyword. So this makes me think of wanting to play her with those ones from the graph feed set that came out. She wouldn't have the ability to give out those awesome Amazonian tokens, but I mean, if you're not the kind of person who doesn't care about Highlander in the sake of the name, you can play her and the other one. She's 110 points. She'll be most of your force, but this dial is unreal. I just looked just now. 9 speed charge, flight, 11 attack, and 10 is the entire dial. 18, 17 is the entire dial, with Indomitable, and then 4 3s and 4s. Holy crap, she is beating someone's just face off, and you're dead. So, overall, guys, if you want a Wonder Woman who can just keep herself alive, do a lot of damage, and be on your Justice League or Amazon team, this is the one you want.
Very nice. Up next, number 17, Green Lantern. Green Lantern Corps Justice League keywords, real name Hal Jordan. Trait, the power battery is draining. I have limited time. At the beginning of the game, place 8 battery tokens on this card. When Green Lantern attacks, remove a battery token. When there are no battery tokens on this card, Green Lantern can't make range attacks or use powers or abilities. Done. So, 8 shots. That's all he's got. And then he's done for 60 points. His special attack power in his first 3 clicks, he can use Pulse Wave and TK. And yeah, that's it. I mean, running shot, flight, sidestep in the latter half of his dial, ESD, top-loaded willpower, thank goodness.
Right.
JLA team ability, 7 range, barrier, and range combat expert. So you got that sidestep range combat expert.
Again.
Man, for 60 points, I could just totally burn him. Now, I don't like this click 4 and 5, 9, but you did give me range combat expert to offset that. But, I mean, 8 shots he's done, tag him in for the Oracle, and just go straight to support, and hope that he's not on click 5 or 6.
Right.
I think he'd be done at that point.
And my only beef, this is a great Green Lantern. I'm very happy with him. The only thing I dislike, though, is that for 60 points, think, oh, this would be a great option for an ID card. Well, unfortunately, with the ruling, at the beginning of the game, doesn't happen when you're called with an ID card, so he wouldn't get his 8 tokens at all. So he is coming as a vanilla dude.
It's like, no powers, no abilities. Why did you bring me in here?
Right.
Oh, man.
Same thing goes for Chameleon. He could be a disguise, but he wouldn't get the stats either.
The game,
yep. So they want you to play this figure on your team.
Good news is that you can just sit there and use him as a TK for 60 points with an 18 defense, ESD, and willpower and throw people around.
With the offensive of scare, hey, come near me, I'm going to pulse wave you.
Yeah, and not actually have to use any of those battery tokens for those TKs because it's specifically when he attacks. So, you know, you can keep him as a 60-point support, you know, throw people around, a partial taxi, and then later in the game have him start running around pulse waving people, especially on click 2. Running shot, pulse wave, 4 damage, single target. Just wasted.
And, you know, 60 points for less than a fourth of your team to do a TKer with the offensive capabilities like that. And a taxi, too, to boot. He has flight, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's way good for his points.
That is really good. Just, I know a lot of people are going to be like, 8 tokens, man, I got to spend those well, and they're going to be worried that he turns into nothing.
What book is he from? I'm just curious what
this is Justice League of America, Another Nail.
Another Nail?
Wow. It was the follow-up to The Nail that talks about a lot of the loose ends that weren't tied up in The Nail.
I was just curious because this Flashpoint I talk about is from Flashpoints. I thought they all would be themed from the same storybook, but I guess they're not. So I was just curious. Okay, so this one has had a lot of hubbub talked about it. This one's really interesting for its point value and ability. So it is only 60 points, just like the Green Lantern. Real name Barry Allen, has Central City, Flashpoint, Scientist, and Speedster. His trait says Saving the President. Once per game, if another friendly character within 10 squares in line of fire would be hit by a ranged attack, you may place the flash in the square adjacent to the target, and that attack misses the target. If you do, for the rest of the game, the flash's speed value becomes 0, and he can use sidestep and outwit.
Ah, you shot me in the flash. No, wait, you missed.
You totally missed. That's the thing. So this guy's right here is a silver bullet to long-range snipers.
Balls of Fury.
Even Jakeem Thunder. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get that one-shot pulse wave on you. Guess what? My flash way back here, 10 squares away, can see your target somehow, some way.
Zip.
And boop, look, here's a flash. I didn't get hit. And now my flash has outwit on you.
Sidestep and outwit.
New rules, that will be scary for any Jakeem player to see this.
Oh, man. That'd be scary for anybody.
Right. So, sure, he loses speed value, but he'll still have a 10 attack, 3 damage to punch back with the 18 defense super senses. He's still fine, guys. Only losing speed powers and the 0 speed or whatever, that's fine. That's whatever. But
He's just going to stand there.
yeah.
Can't go anywhere.
Sidestep is a thing. He does have that. So, people talk about call ID cards for this guy. You can do that for 60 points. You just got to anticipate it. Like, if you think they really have a shot and they're going to risk doing it, the problem is they're going to see you a mile away and say, oh, I'm going to call in this flash. And, yeah.
It may be enough to prevent them from taking that shot for just that one turn.
Even still, yeah, you're looking at basically saying, are you going to attack me this turn with a range attack? Now, a smart player with pick a power can say, oh, I'll pick hypersonic and punch you. But you're basically forcing them into your kill box at that point. If you're back far enough where they either want to shoot or do that, they're going to commit to that or just all around pass. So, but beware with the ID card. He will only get the 5 squares out or else he'd poof and you wouldn't get the ability. Because once he gets past that 5 square threshold, the effect would never take place, so he wouldn't be on the board. So, because, he doesn't have a 10 square vision to that, but like I said, rules for ID cards, if they ever cross that 5 square thing, they poof.
I'm actually going to say we're probably going to want to see the ruling on that because it doesn't say anything about after actions resolve. And so it could still stop the bullet, but then flash disappears.
We have to see a WizKids ruling. Maybe someone can put that in the win and see what we can find.
Because, if you think about it, okay, I'm 5 squares away from the... I get called in, right? Mm-hmm. And you shoot somebody who's 5 squares further away from where the flash got called in from. Mm-hmm. They go to shoot him, and it says, place the flash adjacent to the target, and that attack misses the target. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I place him adjacent, that attack misses, and then the flash evaporates.
If you get to pick the order of operations of when that happens.
Which usually is the rule.
But I think there's an ID card ruling that's immediate, which would beat that timing. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, because they're basically saying that happens at the same time. I place him adjacent and the attack misses.
We'll leave it up to the ruling. Don't follow us, guys.
Yeah, we're on different sides of the fence here, yeah. And I'm okay with either ruling. I just want to see.
And if you guys have a comment you want to put in the comments, if you've seen something or heard something, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. So
it'd be nice to know an official on that.
We'd be open to it. Go ahead.
All right, number 19, Oliver Queen, Templar, Gotham City, past warrior. Real name, Oliver Queen, Templar. Couldn't resist. No, it's just Oliver Queen. He does have improved targeting, shoot out of base contact, or pass, as it's supposed to be called now. Trait, Heaven grants me protection. Well, aren't you blessed? If Oliver Queen, Templar, would take damage from Mystic's team ability, instead heal him 1 click. Why doesn't he have more bolts? Oh, what's that? You have 3 people on your team with Mystics? I'm going to shoot all of them. All of them. Oh my goodness. Pair him with Rachel Calalva's, give him energy explosion. Hey. Oh, you got that big group of Mystics people there. Shaka Bluey. Hey, look, I was on my last click. Now I'm on my top click. Thank you.
That's pretty good, actually.
His special attack power on his first 3 clicks, Oliver Queen Templar can use Penetrating Psychic Blast. When he targets a character with a monster or mystical keyword, he modifies his attack value by +1. If the target has both keywords, he also modifies his damage value by +1. So he's got a little bit of a vendetta there. But starts with Running Shot, that special attack power, Toughness Enhancement, so you can run with other Templars or other shooters. Drops into Sidestep, comes back to Running Shot and ESD with Precision Strike, and then finishes out with that beautiful Sidestep, Precision Strike, ESD, and Ranged Combat Expert.
I will admit, he does have the lowest attack I've ever seen on an Oliver Queen.
Yeah, 10s and 9s, but I mean, he's shooting an old-fashioned longbow, and he's wearing armor, and, you know.
Hey, skill does not come from the weapon he uses.
Agreed. Two things that I would have liked to have seen on this character, I'm just going to criticize for a moment. That the cross on his armor would be green. Again, I would have liked to have seen something green here that really signified for me that he was Oliver Queen. He does have the goatee, but I mean, when I pulled him out of the pack, I was like, this is Oliver Queen Templar? I really expected more green. Then the next thing, I would have loved to have seen an alternate Earth for this guy.
Right, you think that would have been kind of
because
on point?
Being able to have a green arrow and then, oh, you've got a Mystic Monster team. I'm going to bring in Oliver Queen Templar and have that available to be amazing. You know, that I would have liked to see, but he would have been a half and half of somebody else. So anyway, that wraps up Oliver Queen Templar. Still a really great figure. My criticisms are my criticisms, and that's what they are.
That's okay. All right, next up we have number 20, the Joker creature. This is the figure that the bat in the common slot can turn into. So he has Batman Family, Gotham City, Brute, and Past. More of that Past keyword, and he's a Brute, so that's pretty cool. So real name Bruce Wayne. Huh, there's an ID card calling right there. If you're really
I'm going to call in the Joker creature.
For 75 points.
With Battle Fury.
Yep.
What?
So it says trait, the creature. It's you, Dr. Wayne.
Dun, dun, dun.
Spoilers. When the Joker creature replaces the 007, the Bat, give each other character within 6 squares in line of fire an action token. This includes your characters, guys. If for some way you can put him behind a wall and then change,
shocking,
it'll be much better for you. And if your opponent can see him, even better. So that's pretty good right there. And then he has an attack power on the last 3 hits of his dial called He Stalked Them at Night. The Joker creature deals penetrating damage to characters with 2 action tokens. When the Joker creature hits a character after actions resolve, give that character an action token. If the Joker creature occupies hindering terrain, so it's very specific to him occupying hindering terrain to give out those tokens, but he does have no willpower, no windom here, so he's just pushing to do the most damage he can toward the end of his dial. But he always has consistent 2 or 3 damage with Battle Fury. Starting off the dial here, probably should go from there. This have Charge 9, 11 attack Blades Claws Fangs with 17 invulnerable and 2 damage Battle Fury. So, dude, 11-2 for Blades, I am rolling that all day long.
Especially with the new rules. Oh yeah, one doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It feels the exact same as these current ones, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Some of these new 2-1s.
Nah, whatever.
They've almost made Blades Claws Fangs the same as it always was.
But it's better because if I've got Blades in a 3, I've got a minimum 2.
So the higher it is values, the better, of course. But for these lower point clicks or lower rarities, it makes sense. Flurry on the end of his dial there with the toughness and the reflexes. Battle Fury is a great power, guys. He can't be carried, but it's getting past that shape change all down. And can't be mind controlled either. Yep, always look at the positives of Battle Fury. So I think if you guys are scared of a Jakeem Thunder getting that shape change from an Eclipso or
oh man, call in the Joker creature. Just thump him.
Thump him, man.
All right, up next, Bizarro Police, number 21. Brute Monster Police, real name None.
All right.
Special defensive power, his whole dial. Bizarro Police takes a maximum of 1 damage from attacks, period. When Bizarro Police is hit with an attack and his defense value is equal to the attacker's attack total, KO Bizarro Police. This power can't be countered or ignored. So defense 15, last click 14. So you have to roll exactly your attack plus your dice equal to my defense, and they instantly pop.
Otherwise, 1 damage.
It's 1, 1, 1, 1. That, for having such a low value.
I mean, think about it. You have to roll 5s and 4s?
Well, yeah, 5s and 4s at 10, but I mean,
10,
you're running 11s, 12s. I mean, you'd have to roll a 3.
Really low.
I mean,
he's just annoying tie-up piece. More PD or no?
Yeah, PD.
Oh, there you go. 50
with
point PD.
charge, super strength, goes into sidestep, and close combat expert.
Damage?
Yeah.
This thing hits hard.
Yeah, close combat expert, mid-dial, goes into Quake. I mean, throw him in there. It's 50 points, but it's 4 clicks of 50 points.
Taxi, too, we can carry.
Yeah. I have to say, this, it's a gamble. It really is. but it could potentially really be worth it.
Are these generics making you happier about generics, Mike? Are they
You
getting
know,
better?
WizKids is trying really, really hard, and they're winning me over, these generics. I don't ever think I'll be the type of person that I have to have like 50 of every generic, and I'm just going to run a full generic team. But these are figures that if I've got a gap in my points, I'm probably going to fill it with a generic.
Could be good, man. All right, next up, we have number 22, Clockwork Man. Past robot, I believe that's probably the villain of the said Wild Western. If you guys know, comment below. I think he is, but real name none. Attack power on the first 3 clicks dial with willpower and shape change. What is this? These dials are getting crazy, man. Clockwork Man can use precision strike. That's good. Unique modifier. When he hits an opposing character, that character modifies his attack value by -1 until your next turn. Man, if he had the high noon trait too, I'd be down. Because I think if it's the same area, he should have it, but I think it's because he's the bad guy. He doesn't have it.
Yep, he shoots when it's not high noon.
He cheats. 11:59.
Night vision. It's high midnight.
So, this dial is pretty great. For 45 points, you're getting 6 range with stealth. So he's not moving attacking, but he gets into the position, ready to go. 10 attack with a precision strike, and if he hits you, -1 to your own attack value. And 17 toughness with 2 damage and shape change. So his damage output's not the highest, but he's going to make your attack lower and be a nuisance to shoot at. Which is probably why they didn't give him high noon, because if they had, shape change in high noon's rude.
Stealth in high noon is rude.
Yeah, so most of the now that he has sidestep down the line with more RCE, there's that sidestep RCE, man, all over the place. So these 9-1s, I don't even care anymore. I'm getting 10-2s, or a 9-3, or a 11-1. I have options, and then 1 click of rage at the very end. At first, I didn't think much of the Clockwork Man. I'm not sure if I'd play him myself, but if I found a reason for more robots or past, I'd probably look at him and say, hey, you know what? This is an option. Maybe play him with Toy Master.
Ooh, +1 to attack.
I mean, sure, right?
And then super heals him.
Yeah, not bad.
And that's what, 45 and 35 points?
Something like that, way low.
Yeah. Up next, number 23, Pete Ross. Justice League Metropolis Armor. Real name? Wait for it. Pete Ross.
Wait. Pete Ross. I've heard that name, besides, where have I heard that name?
He's from the Son of Superman original graphic novel.
What's the Happy Painter's name?
Oh, Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. Dang it, I was close. Okay.
All right. Special attack power. Enhanced Electro Stunner. Pete Ross can use Incapacitate. When he does, also target all opposing characters adjacent to the original target. So it's an energy explosion in cap, basically. I hit you and all your friends, too. Defensively, his special defense power on his last click, Stop. Opposing characters within 4 squares can use Incap and Toughness. Freedom has a price, -200 million.
Wow.
$200 million.
he put the pinky up to his mouth there, for those of you who can't see us.
That's right, I forget what kind of podcast this is in a way. He starts with Running Shot and that special damage power, special attack power. Invuln and Leadership for 80 points. I mean, Leadership for Justice League Metropolis and Armor, the new rules, 80 points, he could just be popping off those tokens.
Not bad.
Drops in a charge in cap with a 9, kind of meh at this point, and then falls to Earthbound and that stop click. You could heal him up from that. It doesn't say once per game, so...
Remember, stops will be -1
-1 heal, yeah. But I mean, all I have to do is heal him 1 off that stop click, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
But opposing characters in 4 squares can use Incap and Toughness. I don't know. I think I'd rather you just KO him.
Yeah. That's weird that he gives out powers to opposing characters for doing that. But I guess
he's got his uses.
He does have uses. So I think I got all the Batmans in the set.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So
because you were so excited.
So this Elseworlds set isn't Elseworlds for me. It's a Batman set with some Trinity Wars sprinkled in there.
They're all Batman sets.
I don't complain, though. Batman's my favorite. He's my buddy. All right. So, Rune, the Bat God, number 24.
We say Necrune so we don't confuse it with Necron
Yeah,
while trying to say Necrun.
if I'm saying it wrong, guys, you can butcher me in the comments. It's fine. Correct me, but spell it out for me. Show me the pronunciation so I can get it right later. I'll appreciate that. All right, Batman family, cosmic and deity. Real name Necrune. Probably Necrun, but whatever. Trait says Avatar of Darkness. Other friendly characters can use the Batman allied team ability. Period.
I want to use magic missile. On what? The darkness.
The darkness. When Necron, the Bat God, is KO'd by an opponent's attack, this is very important because it has to be by an attack. For the rest of the game, other friendly characters can't be targeted by opposing characters 4 or more squares away from them. So, okay, while he's alive, you got stealth. When he dies by an attack, so you're okay to throw him out there for 100 points at lower dial, by the way. You can say, okay, I'm ready to die. Kill me. Then you've created a 4-square kill box for the rest of your team. And this isn't smart if you're already down 100 points, but if you have some points ahead of that 100, all right, go ahead and do this, because at that point, they have to come to your hometown. So, dial is pretty spectacular. For 200 points, this is probably what everyone would call the beater uncommon of the usual set we get once in a while. Sidestep 7 range, 11 attack, 19 defense with impervious, and 4 damage RCE.
Ugh.
Sidestep RCE, Mike.
With 11-4.
I think they
And
want
19 defense. Brr. With stealth.
With stealth. Yeah. It doesn't bust stealth, but hey, that's
So?
Click 2 through 4, he has running shot 11 with 18's impervious and invincible with 4 damage outwit. Those 4s.
Did you mention the
For
Pensai
days.
in there? I didn't hear it.
He has Pensai too. He's getting the users now. On his 100-point click, we have sidestep, sidestep, super strength with 10 attacks, so heavy objects and knockback for new rules. 17
Still with the ranged combat expert.
17 defense with invulnerability and RC. Yep. I think WizKids knows what we like.
I think George is not wrong in this instance. This is the first time I've actually really got to sit down and look at this dial. I mean, wow.
I know, for 100 points, you get 5 clicks with those stats and a Pulse Wave Screamo at the end.
9 attack, but I mean, sure.
I mean, if you hit, though, 2 to everyone, or, sorry, 1 to everyone.
Or 2 to a single target, yeah.
It's not terrible.
So, my brain's going a little bit with this character. I'm just going to throw that out there. 100-point Necron the Bat God. 100-point Mistress Death. 100-point Nebula from Volume 2.
And that's just 300 points of figures with no support around them. But hey, if they
you
all have stealth.
You give stealth to Nebula so she can move around, be where she needs to be. You give stealth to Death so she can shoot her 10 squares. And if they get in close, because they're going to need to get in close, you're now handing out death tokens. And Nebula's ignoring character bases, rolling Flurry with 2d6 and blades. And then you've got Necron the Bat God doing sidestep with RCE. That's 300 points of amazingness.
Anyways, guys, that's Necron the Bat God. Definitely consider him. If you've ever, Micah says a dozen times, if you ever see a figure that you want to build around, said, man, I wish they had stealth, and you have points around it, consider this as an option. Even at 100 points, he's not too shabby.
All right, so lastly, for our uncommons, we have number 25, Chichito Wagner, Planetary, which is a new keyword to my understanding. Detective Warrior, real name, wait for it, Chichito Wagner.
Surprise.
Special movement power, first 4 clicks, bursts of incredible speed. So I did have the opportunity to play her in our release day sealed, and I was really impressed. Like, I like the look of the sculpt, and I like the design of the figure, and this is just really good. And she's not going to be as good after the new rules, but she's still going to have quite a bit to her. When she has no action tokens, she can use hypersonic speed and modifies her speed value by +2. When she has 1 action token, she can use charge and modifies her speed value by +1. So, no action tokens, hypersonic with +2. 1 action token, charge with +1. Special damage power, which she gets on clicks 2 through 4, is once per turn, Chichito Wagner can use either Outwit or Perplex. I mean,
Nice.
wow.
How many points is she?
She's 80 points. So she starts off with her special movement power, super strength with an 11. So right now, hypersonic super strength with a heavy object. New rules, you get the knockback with that.
Don't forget that knockback, guys. That's super big.
Willpower and toughness, so don't be afraid to use your hypersonic and then charge afterward. And then charge with the object
You've been hanging on to.
and the exploit, if they're going to let you pair the two of those together.
With charge exploit?
Yeah.
If they keep it, they should. I think so, but we'll
We'll look into
the
that
rulebook, yeah.
because exploit is a close combat action,
And charge gives you a close combat action.
but an object attack is a
right, it's its own
object
separate
action.
action. That's right.
So
no, it won't
that's probably not going to work. But you can either hit them with the object for 5, or you can exploit them for 3. Options. It's always about the options.
Always the options, guys.
She goes down a ways, then she just falls into flurry and super senses with an 11 on her second to last click, 10 on the last click. So I mean, she's meant to get in there and stay in there, take a hit, and then just start dishing it out with that flurry.
I've noticed all the planetary figures want to be in the fight. It's kind of interesting.
But yeah, that's 80 points for Chichito Wagner. Pretty awesome.
And that, folks, concludes our uncommon review of the Elseworlds DC set for the 15th anniversary of Heroclix. Like it, sub it, share it, and remember, guys,
Strike first.
and strike hard.